What is happening, guys? A little bit different video from me today. Usually you guys are used to seeing Let's Plays and streams and all kinds of gaming content. Well, today you guys are going to get to see a tutorial because OBS has had an update. In the past, I think it was in the past month, OBS updated a few things, and things are different. I had a stream recently that was crappy quality, and I found out there was a lot of things on my side that I had to fix. So hopefully this helps you if you're having all of a sudden having bad streams or bad Let's Plays or bad recordings in general. Hopefully these settings work. For reference, I am running a 3060 with a processor, an i5, so that's kind of a good reference point. 32 gigabytes of RAM, so they're kind of, you can base these settings off your rig, but I just wanted to let you know my rig, what I'm working with. We're just going to go right into this though. Enough talk. General, I'm not going to worry about any settings here. You guys already know that kind of thing. We're going to go to stream first. So YouTube has two different things. This depends on your service. You know, if you're streaming on Twitch, obviously you'll set this to Twitch. Facebook, YouTube. Now YouTube, if you're like me and stream on YouTube, there's YouTube RTMP, and then there's YouTube HLS. Now, I personally like RTMP for any stream that's not ultra wide. So for me, I use Streamlabs OBS for all my standard HD streams, and I use OBS for all my ultra wide. The reason I have them different is because I have my OBS set as an HLS, and because I like HLS with ultra wide, I find it works better than RTMP. I've just had too many problems with RTMP on ultra wide, so I leave that at HLS. But this is going to depend on what you do. If you are using ultra wide, you can use RTMP and see how it works. I know some people that love it, and that since YouTube does now support it, I just find HLS works way better for ultra wide. I don't know why. I just found that. So mess with that for you. What you need, chances are for majority of you guys, if you are streaming on YouTube, you are going to want to set this to RTMPS, unless you're doing ultra wide. Then you might want to tool around with HLS, but that's up to you. Then going out to output, let's talk about output because this is where all the magic happens. All right, so first off, encoder, you guys know this. If you're using an NVIDIA card, use NVENC 264. Just ease up the process on your processor, unless you're using like an over i9 or something like that. Keep it just on NVENC. It's just the best way to go if you have an NVIDIA card. Why not? And then talk about the encoder settings here. CBR, constant bit rate, obviously. I stream at a bit rate of 18,000. So I stream on YouTube and I stream at 1440p. And for that recommendation, I think it's like 13,000 on the low end to 18,000 at the high end. I max that out. I go 18,000. This is all going to depend on your upload speed, though. You have to run an upload speed test. My recommendation is run an upload speed test, divide that in half, and then minus 10. So basically, let's say you have an 8, let's make this easy math. Let's say you are like me, you have a 50 megabyte upload. I have a 50 megabyte upload. Divided in half is about 25. I could do 25 upload on that, but I about minus 10 from that, 15, and I round that to 18, just because 18 is the higher end that YouTube recommends. But you're gonna have to run a speed test and see what you can afford to use. If you're on Twitch, the max you can go about is 6,000 to 8,000. If you're a Twitch partner, I believe it's 8,000. Don't quote me on that. I think that's correct. But most people will stream on Twitch at 6,000. YouTube, though, if you're gonna go for that 1440p encoder on YouTube, which chances are you probably should be if you want the best quality streams, and if your upload allows it, definitely push that 18,000. And like I said, you can go from 13,000 to 18,000. It's in that range, I believe. Just Google YouTube stream setup, and you can get the actual recommended numbers directly from YouTube. But you're gonna have to play with that, see what works best for you. I like 18,000. It's so smooth, it's so crisp, it looks fantastic. It's why I stream on YouTube instead of Twitch, because you're allowed to stream with such crazy bit rates. Keyframe interval, set that at 2. Then we're going to talk about preset. So preset, I have messed around a lot with this. And if you are using OBS before this recent update and you did not mess with any settings and it was set on quality, and then you went to stream after they updated and you noticed, oh my gosh, why am I dropping all these frames? This happened to me because the previous setting was synced with good quality, P5. Now, if you have a really good machine, you're fine. Good quality is fine. But if you're on a my machine's not slow by any means. A 3060 is not a bad graphics card. A 36, I like my graphics card a lot, and it can handle P5. But if I'm streaming for more than a few hours, around that 3-hour mark, P5 will start to slow down. And that's what happened on a recent stream of mine. And I was losing my mind. I didn't know what was going on. And it was because OBS had updated and it put it automatically on P5. And at first the stream was fine, and then it got terrible. And I found out later on that this whole preset thing is completely new, P1 to P7. So I've tried and tested all of these. And I have found for the majority of users, I think P4 is going to be your suit. It's what I use when I stream ultra wide. P4 medium quality. It's right in the middle. I recommend that to most people, unless you have a 3080 and above. If you have a 3080 or are lucky enough to have a 40 series, you can go slower or even slowest. Better quality or best quality. But for majority of people, I believe medium quality P4 is the sweet spot. So that's what I stream with right there. Tuning, you want to go high quality, multi-pass mode. Keep that at 2-pass quarter resolution. Full resolution, you're going to lose frames. I've tried this maybe on a 40 series or 3080, maybe you're fine, but quarter resolution, I believe what I've tested is the best. Leave it there. High for profile, look ahead, leave unchecked. Psycho tuning, visual tuning, check that, make sure that's checked. That increases frame generation. GPU, set that 0 unless you have more than one GPU, then you're going to want to mark that up, but you're going to have to look up settings because I'm not sure how to stream with multiple GPUs. Max B frames, leave it 2. So yeah, that's the streaming setup right there. Then go to recording. Now recording, we can jack things up a bit. Up here, you don't need to change anything here. You can just, this is just your recording path. You guys know this stuff. The encoder, the same thing, nothing crazy there. Rate, now we're going to have some fun though. Encoder settings, I leave mine at constant bit rate. Some people like recording at CQP. I have problems with CQP. It's just choppy. It doesn't look as good. Constant bit rate is the way to go. For me, I like to record at a 20,000 bit rate. Now, if you have a very, very powerful machine, I'm talking a 3080 and above, I recommend setting this to 35 to 50,000 bit rate. If you have it, like if you have a 3080 or 3090 or a 40 series, I would put this to 40 to 50,000. That will give you such crisp, so clean recordings. Now, if you're like me on a 3060, a medium card, not a low end card, but a medium card, I have found 20,000 bit rate to be fantastic. This is what all my Let's Plays are. You can look at all my Let's Plays on my channel. They are super clean, super crisp quality, and 1440p, no problems, no lag. And 20,000 is just the sweet spot. I like that a lot. But like I said, you're gonna have to mess around with that. That's gonna be something you're gonna have to play with. I messed with mine for hours till I just settled on 20,000, because you want to find a place where you can play the game without any lag on your end and any lag on the recording. And once you hit that sweet spot, takes a while to figure out. That's your good spot to go with. Keyframe interval, set that to 0. Preset, this is where we can go to P5. So for recording, you're not using as many resources. You're not having to encode and upload everything. It's just being encoded and recorded. And it's a lot easier on the CPU. So with that said, you can go to P5 and P6 with a medium end graphics card. For me, on recording, I do P5 slow, good quality. Now, if you are on a below a 3060, or if you're on a GTX, then I would stick with the low quality to lower quality. But if you're on a 3060, 3070, I'd go medium to good. If you're above 3070 though, you can really have fun with the slower, better quality and best quality. Later this year, I think I'm going to build a new rig, and I'm excited to, be able to use, best quality, max that out, and really make everything super crisp. But honestly though, I'm pretty happy with how everything's going right now with all my Let's Plays and all my recordings, and I just do that at P5. P5 slow, good quality. I do have every now and then some frame rate drops, but they're so minimal. They're so minimal, and the OBS fixes them right away, and it clears up, and it's not constant. It's just like sometimes it'll drop down a bit and then come right back. And for me, that's an okay sacrifice, because medium on recording just does not look good. I've tested this medium. It's a fine detail, but it's a detail that I notice, because I'm an analytical person, and if it's medium quality, I just found is not as clear. There's just a teeny bit of fuzziness to it. It just will drive me a little bit insane. So for me, I go P5, good quality, and I sacrifice a tad bit of frame rate just to get that ultra clean, good quality. So that's what my recording is set at. Tuning, high quality, multipass, 2-pass, quarter resolution, nothing changes there. Profile, high. This is all the same. GPU tune, all that's the same. Mainly, you're just going to mess around with your preset and your bitrate on your recording. That's the only difference from streaming to recording. But other than that, if we want to look at the audio, if you're streaming on Twitch, you can go to 320. YouTube does not support 320, so if you do stream at 320, it's just going to put it down to 160. I make it easier on YouTube. I just stream at 160, just so it doesn't have to encode anything else. Just to be, I mean, I don't think it really matters, but that's what YouTube recommends. Look up your recommendations for your whatever platform you're streaming on. That's what I recommend. And then, yeah, that's just your track, replay buffer. That's not a big deal. Going down to audio, I have mine at 44.1. I know people that do 48. I've messed with 48. I have problems. I keep it 44.1. I feel like YouTube works the best with that. Twitch might be different, but YouTube 44.1 is a good. I've never had any problems with audio, and I believe my audio sounds very good. So we're going to talk about video now. Video base canvas resolution is all about the base canvas that you're streaming on. So for me, I stream on a 2560 by 1080 ultra wide monitor. When I do stream regular, I downsize that to 1920 by 1080. But for my ultra wides, though, what we're talking about here, 2560 by 1080, and for my output scaled resolution, I just leave it the same, 2560 by 1080. Now you can up that if you want. That's going to put more pressure on the GPU, and if you do that, you're going to have to change this downscale filter. Now there's two things you can change it to: Lanczos and bicubic. I recommend bicubic. Bicubic I've had far less problems with. I feel like bicubic is just a clear, crisp recording, crisp stream, whatever you want. But if you're not scaling the resolution, it's resolutions match, no downscaling required. Now, when I do stream on Streamlabs, my regular HD streams, like games that are not ultra wide, this is what my base canvas is 1920 by 1080, and my output resolution is 2560 by 1440. So I will output the resolution as an upscale to YouTube to get that 1440p encoder on YouTube. That just makes it look crisp. And I recommend others do that as well, as long as your graphics card can handle that upscale. And that filter that you should use for that is always bicubic, unless you're using a 40 series. Maybe if you're using a 40 series, I'd recommend Lanczos, but just be safe. Bicubic, it's never done me wrong. Why fix something if it's not broken? Bicubic. And common SPS value, 60 frames per second. 30 frames per second nowadays is just old school. You got to get that 60 FPS. You just got to. Unless your computer can't handle it, then you just got to do what you got to do, I guess. For hotkeys, I don't think you guys need to know any of this stuff. I mean, this is all just kind of standard stuff. I've changed basically nothing else, just a few settings, but nothing that's really crazy or groundbreaking. But those are my settings, guys. That's what I stream with. That's what I record with. It's like I said, I use Streamlabs and OBS. I personally prefer Streamlabs for regular definition streams if I'm not doing ultra wide, just because I feel like Streamlabs works better. I don't know why. I know OBS is the less intensive on memory, but for some reason I feel like my computer performs better when I record with Streamlabs. But my ultra wide, I do stream with OBS. So you're gonna want to mess with that. Mess with both programs. That's what I recommend doing. I recommend downloading Streamlabs and OBS, playing with them both, doing test streams, figuring out which one you like better. I use them both. They're both great. Preference of choice is Streamlabs. That's just mine. I have more luck with it, but I hope you guys enjoyed this. And if you did, give it a like, subscribe to my channel. I'm trying to get this to 1,000 subs by this summer. I'm getting close. I think I'm almost at the 700 mark. So I appreciate everybody who's been a new sub. I do Let's Plays, gaming. I stream every other day. We'll talk to you guys next time, guys. Stay strong and God bless.